So
with
the most
whatever
that
Otto was
listen, I'd
doing.
rather charge them with what we have than what we don't have and reach for something and the entire thing get thrown out. The most that we have on like everybody else is like felony obstruction, not accomplice to a shooting that
We
they
have
didn't.
accomplice. I will fight it in court. We have it.
Okay. So how do we prove accomplice to the shooting if they didn't?
Because they were physically
Because they didn't
there
come
when the
out.
shooting occurred, and they also didn't do anything to stop it. They didn't. They may have possibly been shooters themselves. Like what?
Okay,
4 to 5 firearms were found.
And you got to remember, Trooper Andrews, that the standoff lasted so long that even after that we went up there, we couldn't properly
attempted murder.
get,
Where's the LEO?
all the evidence was washed away by the maids. So although that we should have been able to go up
The
there
accomplice differs from an accessory in the an accomplice is present at the actual crime and could be prosecuted even if the main criminal, the principal, is not charged or convicted. An accessory is generally not present at the actual crime.
All we really need to prove is that they knowingly, voluntarily, or intentionally assisted someone else in this crime. This could also be assisting in aftermath of the crime, which they
I'm gonna be
for 2 hours.
So I mean, this is a little bit different than like, you know, these idiots went and robbed a bank and the hostage died, right? As a means of them committing this felony. There's always that chance of that happening where they could be charged with that murder, right? In this instance, we have an idiot that's popping off rounds and a couple of people were refusing to come out. So I don't.
It was more than that. Respectfully, he told them, "I will shoot you if you do not leave."
Yeah, that's Otto. Otto's warrant is 100% fine, but I don't see how.
When Faley was trying to hold people and just get them in custody, figure out what is happening, Nino Chavez was actively tackling him. Dean was resisting the point he had to be beaten with a flashlight,
which would be obstruction. I don't see how that would be accomplice to
because
attempted
Otto
murder.
then drew a firearm. They disappeared into the back room, and then suddenly people with masks came out and shot at officers. That's how. There also could possibly be accomplices after the fact, or accessory after the fact, because they were there to help with the cleanup or anything else that occurred in that past.
Bruh, none of this is gonna stick.
Treated for their lives that involved these guns being mysteriously stockpiled in one place and all the blood and casings going away. And people that were incapacitated being back on their feet, and then
okay, we got mechanics.
All this other thing. 2 hours. We do not know what they were doing in that casino, but undoubtedly they were.
We are reaching so hard.
Had come from the exchange of fire. So it's 100% their accomplices.
I'm all for getting pieces of shit off the street, right? I am all for that. But I don't think we can,
because these are business owners.
But honestly, do you think this is going to stick in court just based off of the?
I 100% think I can make this stick in court.
Okay. For the list of charges, I will go one by one for each defendant. Mr. Tony Corleone, you are facing 2 counts of accomplice to attempted murder of a government employee, 1 count of felony obstruction of justice, and 1 count of resisting arrest. Today, we found there is no evidence or testimony presented towards your involvement regarding this incident. So at this time, the courts will find you not guilty on all charges.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Gomer Colton, you are also facing 2 counts of accomplice to attempted murder of a government employee, 1 count of felony obstruction of justice, and 1 count of resisting arrest. It is the ruling of this court that this also applies to you, and we will find you not guilty on all charges. Mr. Ling Buddha, the extent of your involvement as testified today stated more about your tattoos than any involvement in this situation. Therefore, I will be finding you not guilty of all charges. Mr. Dean Watson, you are also found not guilty on all charges. Mr. Chavez, you are facing 2 counts of accomplice to attempted murder of a government employee, 1 count of felony obstruction of justice, and 1 count of resisting arrest. At this time, we'll be finding not guilty on all 3 charges. However, tackling an officer while they are trying to perform their duties is a form of assault, and as such, we'll find you guilty of 1 count of assault and battery. Lastly, Mr. Delmar. You are facing 2 counts of accomplice to attempted murder of a government employee, 1 count of felony obstruction of justice, and 1 count of disobeying a police officer, as well as 1 count of resisting arrest. It's the belief of this court that defending yourself against the PD, as testified, is not reason enough to draw your weapon and fire upon officers. At this time, we'll find you not guilty of the listed charges. However, we'll be finding you guilty of assault with a deadly weapon ×2.